Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we will be going with physics O levels and topic waves. We'll be just going with a short introduction about that and the types of waves. So it's like one of the 1.8 topic that we have in our physics book. So this is like a very easy topic and it just needs your clear understanding to understand it more. So let's begin with it. So what is the waves? It is something which we actually need to understand. um, you guys can see, like, in general, if we talk about waves, so you probably, when you hear waves, so you probably think in your mind about the sea waves and ocean waves, right? So these tidings and everything that comes up in your mind, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. But there are different sorts of waves that we actually today talk about. We'll talk about X-rays. We'll probably talk about sun rays. Probably talk about different kinds of rays. So waves is actually the disturbance. It's something disturbance caused into the place. So there are in total two types of waves that we are going to learn about. One is mechanical and one is the OG non-mechanical. Right? So what is mechanical waves? Mechanical waves are actually something which needs medium. If there is no medium, there will be no mechanical waves. For instance, if we speak something, right? So a medium that we could have is the air. If we speak something, the way we're speaking and it's coming out, it's the medium, the air is same. But non-mechanical is something which does not have a medium. If I give you an example of mechanical, it might be like ocean waves is mechanical. Within that, sound waves are mechanical because it has the same medium. But if I talk about non-mechanical, it does not requires what? A medium. For instance, sun rays. Like, sun rays do not need any sort of medium. It's more like it's just something which reflects back, and it's something that gives us more waves and light in total, right? So it does not need a medium. It's like without a medium. Even though, if I take one more example, which is sun rays, and then we gonna talk also about the X-rays are also types of non-mechanical waves. And now in mechanical waves, we also have two types of waves. One is what? One is longitudinal waves, right? So what are longitudinal waves? Longitudinal waves in total are So longitudinal waves are in total something which creates a 90-degree angle, right? It's something which creates a 90-degree angle. For instance, let's just take this is something, and it just and like this. So it goes like we have it here. So it makes a 90-degree angle. So this is the direction of our wave, and this is the pathway. So this is the right pathway. So it in total makes this angle. So that is longitudinal waves. Longitudinal wave examples could be the, how do we speak, and probably the ocean waves could be the longitudinal waves. And the two things that we should study into the waves might be that crust and trough. Crust is this upper thing, which is probably also known as the positive distance, and this lower thing, which is known as trough, which is the negative distance, right? So we should also know about this. And I will mostly also talk about some of the qualities of wave. How do we talk about the qualities of wave? You see, this is a line here, one. This is known as crust. This is known as trough. This line from, like, let me just clear it up. So from this point to this point, it completes a one cycle. If you take this in total, and it makes a complete cycle and a complete period in a circle. So that's like one wave, right? So that's also known as wavelength, and that is also known as one oscillation, like, which is frequency is the number of oscillations per second, We'll also talk about the frequency and time period later on. And then we'll also have one more thing which is known as L amplitude. What is amplitude? The you will see this, like कितना negative जा रहा है कितना positive जा रहा है, like how much negative and positive, it is the length. You see the angle that is being created here. So that's power. So that's amplitude that we are going to study. So that's wavelength, right? So wavelength formula is more like, we'll also take its formula as speed. We'll take it as sp, speed equals distance upon time. But wavelength is also like that. Wavelength is, we'll take wavelength as v, and we'll take lambda, and then we'll take time as what? We'll take time as frequency. Okay, so that is how we're going to solve this wavelength. We'll probably study it furthermore, so you'll probably understand later on. And like that, we also have time frequency. Frequency is more like the number of oscillation per second. Like in 1 second, like if I have this 1 second, how many cycles are done, like kitni waves guzar rahi hain. While if we talk about the time period, it's something like कि it's something कि कितने time के अंदर, how much time one cycle is taking. Like for instance, this cycle might take 0.1 second. So एक cycle कितना time ले रही है, it is that. And इसमें है कि एक second में कितना time, कितनी waves हो रही हैं. So that's what we are going to study further into that. Yeah, so that was more about the introduction. Probably in my next, that was more about introduction. In my further videos, we probably will go according to the non-mechanical waves and the features and the qualities of waves furthermore. Thank you so much for watching this introduction video.